Hello, crafters. Hello, I am so glad that you are here with me today. If we have not met, my name is Carrie Giletto, and I am one of Heartfelt Creations online educators. And today I get to launch one of the new collections. So if you're like me, every new release is so precious now, right? We're just eating them up. We can't wait. So let's go ahead and change our camera view and take a look at what we're going to make today. All right, so here is the card that we're going to make, and the new release that just came out is the Floral Sentiments. So look at that. There is our hidden floral sentiment. Um, you may recognize this card design. Some people call them a magic window, but I just thought this was the perfect way to showcase these beautiful floral sentiments. So there are several floral sentiments that are available in this collection, and I'm serious you are going to love them all. So this is the special floral sentiment, which has the hope your day is as special as you are, and this is the one that we'll be using today. Each of them have a word, and then this one has the word special that cuts out separate. And you can cut out the whole thing as one, or you can cut out the middle and have just the frame. So the dies give you some flexibility there on how you use this. Then we have the friend floral sentiment, which you are so much more than a friend. And this coordinates with the wild roses if you would like to use it with that. And then, of course, it has the for my friend, and the friend cuts out separate, so you can use that. And again, it has the dies so that you can cut out the whole thing or just the center. And then this one is becoming a favorite very quickly. This is the grateful floral sentiment, but these cute little rosette rosebuds with the butterfly, and it says, "I am so grateful for you." So this is just a beautiful stamp and die, and it has the in appreciation, and again, it has your dies that cut out the whole thing or the center, and you can cut out the word grateful separate, and it also has a die to cut this out. So lots of versatility within these three stamp and die sets. So today we're going to be using the special floral sentiment. And for today's project, I'm also going to pull in the small wild rose set. So if you have that, you can um, uh, add that to it. Sorry, I turned over just a moment. I want to see if there I am. Okay. I was seeing if I can see your comments. Okay, there you are. All right. Hello, Christy and Joyce. Lorna, it's good to see you. Arlene, all right. If you're out there with me, do pop in and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. And my comments are now scrolling there. I can see you popping in there. Okay. We're also going to use the special birthday sentiments. So those are the products that we've got for us today, and we will also be using the shaping mold. So speaking of shaping molds, real quick, I don't want to forget to tell you, for the month of May, if you spend $50, you're going to get to choose a free shaping mold. So that is going to be the special that is running the whole month of May. And if you've missed any of the shaping molds, you're going to want to pick those up this month. That is the way to go. So, all right, let's go ahead and start with our floral sentiment and make our hidden message card. So to do this, you are going to need some kind of stamping platform. Most of the time, we're able to do everything without a stamping platform, but for this one, it's going to be much, much easier if you have a stamping platform. For some reason, I'm having trouble saying that word. Excuse me. All right, you're going to need a piece of paper cut down to 4 by 5 and a quarter. So go ahead and you're going to want to mount that right in the very corner of your stamping platform. If for some reason you don't have a platform and you want to try this, come up with a way by marking on your board like a template where you're going to be stamping in the exact same place. So that's a little tricky to do, but it can be done, but it's going to be much easier with the stamping platform. And it's very important that this doesn't shift. So that's why I'm really using magnet to magnet that down. Okay, so the first one we're going to stamp is our very bottom piece that is in our sliders. So this one that's on the very bottom, that's the one we're stamping first. And so I'm going to stamp the whole entire image. And I'm going to stamp that in the vibrant fuchsia. Now, one thing I thought of after I had made this, that it would be really fun to ombre this to be your slider window as it comes up, to kind of have an ombre look. I thought that would be really neat. All right. There we go. For some reason, my comments over here are not scrolling. It's like I have to use my cursor to move it down. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that one more time. There is one more product that we're going to need today. And you're going to need some kind of masking paper. So my favorite masking paper, and don't remove your stamp, you want to leave it right there. My favorite masking paper is the Gina K Designs masking paper. And the reason I like that is because it's got a score mark on the back, so it makes it easier to take the paper off. And I really like that. I really hate having to fight with the corners trying to get that to come up. Okay, so the next thing we need to stamp, we need a piece of masking paper that is the exact same size as our one here, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to move that back, and you're going to want to put this on in the exact same place as the other one. Okay. Boy, that doesn't look fun. Okay. And again, you're going to want to hold those in place really well. Either tape it or magnet it down, however you do. And again, we're going to stamp this on. Now, this stamp is just for masking purposes, so it's not like you need a lot of ink or anything like that. We're just going to put that down. Get a good impression there. All right. Now, don't move your bottom paper, but you're going to take your top paper off. And, whoops, what did I do? Oh, here it is. I set things around, can't find what I've done with things. Okay, out of your Floral Sentiment set, we're going to pull out the die. And we're going to use this inner die right here. Now, I thought about this video and how I could do this without you having to hear my die cut machine. And I just really couldn't come up with a good way. But what you're going to do is, let's see, I'll put it right back on top of here. You're going to take this inner die piece, and we're going to, whoops, got to get it in here the right way. There we go. All right, you're going to put it on there and tape that into place. All right. And once you get that taped, we're going to go ahead and just the masking paper, not your other piece, but just the masking paper, we're going to have to go ahead and die cut that. And like I said, I just couldn't think of any way to really do this without you hearing my die cut machine. So it'll be a little loud for just a second, but then it goes really quickly. All right, so once you get that die cut, you're going to want to get a piece of acetate. Okay, so this is a piece of the Heartfelt Creation acetate. They call it clear cardstock on the website, but it's just acetate. And you want to cut that down to the exact same size. So we're going to go ahead and put that exactly on top of our other piece and magnet that in place. Now, once you get that magneted in place, you're going to take the piece that you die cut here. Okay. Now, you can certainly save the other half of this what you've die cut. Mine's tearing. Hold on. There we go. Whoops. All right, the part that we need for today is this little piece right here. So this you can save for later use if you want to die cut something else. But what we're going to do is we're going to place this right on top of our acetate. So because this has the half, I like to take the half off first and then just get the other half started, but not peel it back. And then you can go ahead and put in place. It makes it way easier. There you go. And now you can just peel this back and it should go right into place. See how easy that is? By having that score mark on the back, it really helps you get those delicate spots in place. Okay, so now for our final stamped image here of our stamping of this image, we'll go ahead and you want to ink that up really well. And when we stamp this, you're going to want to press down really well because we want to go and make sure we get on either side of the acetate because it's got that paper on there. It's a very thin paper, but still you're going to want to make sure you press hard and get that pressed down. Now, this ink on acetate takes a while to dry. So it actually helps if you use the warm setting on your heat gun and you heat set that ink. That'll help it to dry a little quicker. But if you touch this anytime in the next half hour or so, it's going to smear. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set this aside. And you can see when we pull that up, we're going to remove this one. We've got our stamped image on our acetate. All right, now because this takes so long to dry, I went ahead and did one last night for us, so we'll use that one instead of this one. And hopefully it's exactly the same. Yeah, we're going to make it work. Okay, excuse me, I've had a bit of a cough, so I'll try not to have a coughing fit during my video. All right, so that makes us all finished with our stamping platform. Now, the paper pad for this collection is just beautiful. I believe this one is my very favorite piece of paper in this collection. As soon as I looked at this was the first one I pulled out to use. I just loved it. And that is sheet 2B. We're also going to use sheet 5B and sheet 4A. So from sheet 2B, you need 2 A2 squares. Now these are the Heartfelt Creation ones that they came out quite a while ago and they have little stitched decorations. If you don't have these two, you can use any A2 frame dies that you have, but your goal is to get an A2 size frame that looks like this. So if you have these two dies, that's how I did it, and you just die cut that, and that's going to give you this nice piece right here. All right, out of this piece, you're going to cut two. Your largest, oh, no, you're going to cut this one too, and I just did it with my paper cutter. Now, if you have the die for this, you can. I do. I just didn't use it. You're just going to cut that the size of an A2 card. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that's going to go directly down on our card. Our card today is actually an A2 size card, which is kind of unusual. Heartfelt Creation cards are often larger, but today that's what we'll be doing. Then you're also going to take 2 ovals out of our oval sets, and I'll slide them up so you can see them a little better. But it's the 2 sizes right here. And let me see, I believe they're out of the 2 different oval sets. We've got the large oval and then the smaller oval set. The third one in on each set is the 2 ovals that we're using. And with the larger one, go ahead and cut out an oval from this nice fuchsia paper. That'll give us this. And then from the smaller one, that's where we're going to get our sheet 4A. And we're going to cut out this pretty little cottage from down here in the corner. Right here. And then from this section right here, I need you to cut a piece and I'm going to measure it again because it was kind of, I don't want to tell you wrong. Last night I remembered, but by this morning I don't. So it's 7.5 by 5 inches. Okay, so, and in order to conserve my paper, because we're all about conserving paper now, right? Because just because there's going to come a day where we can't get it. So we're going to really be careful with our papers. But that came from this corner right here. So you basically can cut off this strip right here and save the rest of this paper for another project. All right, so once we get this, and then the only other thing you're going to do is out of this same paper, you're going to have like a little bit left over here. And if you get a circle die, and really out of any of the other papers you have, the other two pieces you're going to need are this little tag right here. And I stamped that with the happy birthday. And then you're also going to need just a circle punch. And however you want to get your 1-inch circle, you can use a die. You can even use a larger than 1 inch if yours is 1.5. This is just to make us a little pull tab. So I just used a punch, but you can really use any size circle. You could even use a different shape if you wanted to. You could even use this probably and fold it over and make your tab. So that, don't be real picky about that, and anything will work there for you. Okay, so these are the pieces that we have. Now, before we go any further, we can set our pieces aside here, and let's go to our bottom piece here, the one that we stamped completely on white. And we want to get out our daubers and some inks. So today I am using Vivid Chartreuse and a Vibrant Fuchsia. And I'm just going to come in with very lightly and add just a little bit of color to my flowers. See that? And hopefully this is showing up, but I'm just adding a little bit of that color onto the flowers. Whoops, got that out of the lines a little bit. Okay. Then you're going to come in with the fuchsia. All right. Hello, hello. Is somebody, what set did they come from? Oh, I'm guessing that you're asking about the frame dies, and I'll look that up for you. And at the end of the video, I'll put it in the comments, okay? Because I can't remember the exact name of it. I should have looked that up before the video, and I totally forgot. So I will look that up for you and put that in the comments. All right, so the next thing, we're going to come in with a little bit of Vibrant Fuchsia. Oh, sorry, not Vibrant Fuchsia, Vivid Chartreuse. And we're going to add just a little bit of color to the leaves. Just the big leaves, all those little areas, I'm going to come back in a minute and get those. So once we get just a little bit of color on those leaves, we're done with our daubers. And you know this trick coming up, right? I'm going to come in with some of my colored pencils and just add a little bit of shading to the places where I think it needs some more color. And you can do this pretty quick. We're just adding a little bit of shading in there to give that some more depth. All right, and then for the yellow pieces, I'm going to add some yellow to the center of each of my flowers. And I also went ahead and colored just a few of and I traced some of these lines coming out to kind of make that look like a sunburst. And really, you can just color this as much or as little as you would like. And I did add some shading in my leaves as well. Now, this is going to be underneath your acetate, but I found that it just helped it kind of show up and look its best if we added a little bit of detail in there. Now, I did forget to pull my dauber out, but I came back with a little bit of this one, the buttercup. And let's see here, let me get my dauber. I forgot to pull my dauber for this one. And I just put a little bit of that bright yellow on the butterflies. And I also kind of came around the edges just to add a little bit of shadow in there underneath my flowers with a little bit of that yellow. You see how that just adds that kind of happy yellow color around the sentiment, just to kind of get that sentiment in the center to pop, and add some of that yellow. And I believe these two little leaves right here, I put a little green on those too. Because if you remember, our magic window piece is going to be plain. So that's why I wanted this to have some color so that you really see that contrast when you pull that up. So, all right. I'll leave these right here. We are going to use those again in a moment. So now that we have this piece done, we can go ahead and remove our masking tape here from this piece. And there we go. And you could save that if you wanted to, or if I've made several, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that away. Okay. Well, hello, Jennifer from Scotland, and Dora, hello. Oh, and from Germany. Boy, we've got crafters from just all over the world today. It's so great to see all of you. I'm glad you're here, and I really hope you like this project. I really had fun with this one. Okay, so you are going to need an A2 size card, which I have right here. Okay. And we're going to fold that over and get that ready to go. Now, if you like to make bigger cards, you could do this on just a flat front and then attach it to a larger card and still have the magic window piece, just part of a larger card. I know in some countries, the larger cards are much more popular. I know here in the US, a lot of crafters make the majority of their things are going to be the A2. So I make all different sizes. I don't really have a favorite, but so to build this up, we're going to add our maroon piece or whatever color that is. And if you wanted to, you could ink those edges. I didn't do that on this one, but you sure could. I probably did on my original. All right, so we're going to go ahead and glue down this piece. All right. Now, I want to make sure I do this right. So I'm just laying this right here for a moment, but I think I'm going to have to trim it down just a bit. Nope, that fits really well. Good. Okay. So before we go any further, this piece right here, we are going to fold that in half. And we're going to take this little piece right here and we're going to fold our circle or whatever you used for your pull tab. You're going to fold that in half. And right here on the inside, I'm going to apply a little strip of glue. And I'm going to add, whoops, I also, sorry, forgot this step. When you fold this in half, we're going to glue it shut, okay? So we're just going to glue that circle that's in half. You're going to glue that shut and then apply it right inside there, okay? Now, the reason I fold it is so that it's the same color on both sides. And now I'm going to glue this piece shut as well. And this just makes it so that our slider window is a bit more stable. If you just make it one thick, I just like it having a bit more sturdiness to it. So that's why I fold it over and give it that extra weight. Now, if you have a stamp set with the words pull or slide or little arrows, you can certainly use that. But you can also just come in with a fine tip marker and draw a little arrow that tells people what to do. And if you want to write pull up there, you sure can, but you could do that with any color marker you want. And here on my original, I had a stamp set with the word slide, so I used that, but you can also just do it with a pen. All right, now for this piece right here, you're going to want to come in with some foam tape. The little skinny strips are going to be best for this, but we're going to go around 3 sides with foam tape. Now, it's a wait. I almost forgot something. You're going to want to take this piece and add it first. Whew, I'm glad I realized that. That would have been not good. And for some reason, I don't have my score tape right here, but we're going to add that acetate on there first. Had to get it out of a bag there. So I like to add my acetate with score tape rather than glue, especially on a video, only because it takes longer to dry. Now, if you use glue, you just want to make sure that you set something heavy on it, like a stamping block, and set it aside to let that glue dry before you move it. Okay. So we're going to go all the way around 3 sides. You want to leave the top open. Okay, we're not going to put score tape or foam tape on that top edge. Sometimes when I'm like crafting and I don't have my head in the game, I have been known to accidentally glue, put stuff at the top and then not be able to get my window in. So don't make that mistake because then it won't go. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our acetate. And it's important that you get it right side up. All right, so where your opening is, we're going to want to add it so that that is the right way. Okay. All right. So now I've got my acetate window in there. And the next thing I'm going to do is add my foam. Okay. Now we can go around this with foam. And again, you want to leave that same top. The butterfly is at the top. So that's a good way of, making sure that you're not putting it in there upside down. Oh, yeah. Jennifer in the UK says that they make 7x7 and 8x8 cards. Yes, I have noticed that, different places prefer different sizes. So definitely you could add this onto a larger card and that would be really fun. You could also turn this into a shaker card. Like if you accidentally did close up your top, it would just be a shaker instead, right? Okay. Now, when I put mine on, I left a little bit of an edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. There we go. Sometimes when I get it placed, it's hard to see that on my desktop. Okay, so there we go. The next thing, we just want to make sure that this is going to go. So you see how this is a little too wide? So I am going to cut off a 1/4 inch on each side. And that's kind of something you just have to do, depending on your score tape and how wide it is, stuff like that. I usually do this step at the end. There we go. Okay. So, perfect. All right. So we just want that to slide easily. If your foam is real sticky, you might want to come back with a the powder, and you just kind of powder the edges of it so that it doesn't stick. But if you've cut this to a good size, it's going to slide really easily and not give you any problems there. So let's go ahead and get our card back out. Make sure that it opens the right way. And we're going to go ahead. We need to put this down, and this will go right on top. And to line up my score, I'm going to have to trim off a little bit because I put this too low. It's causing me, you shouldn't have to do that. If you got your piece here lined up properly, you won't have to do this step. I'm just having to do it because I put that a little too low. All right, so let's go ahead and put this piece down. If this is your first time, you might want to use repositionable tape on this, or repositionable tape runner. That way, if you need to lift it up and move it, you can. But for the most part, you're just going to center that on there. And now we'll add these. I thought it would be fun to make a trio of cards using all three of the Floral Sentiments and make magic windows out of them and kind of make them a little gift set. Now, when we add this piece, what you're trying to do is to line up your image as best as you can. And mine's being a little trickier to do that only because I applied that acetate a little the wrong place. But if your papers were cut to the same size, so yours should line up really well if you put that right. So now we just want to put this in and kind of make a mental note of where we need to place our pieces. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these two together. So tell me in the chat, have you ever made a hidden message or magic slider card before? Or is this a new idea for you? And if so, have you ever, if you have done it, have you done it with your Heartfelt Creation stamps? All right, so pretty much I think if I put this right in the middle, I should be good. So I'm gonna just go ahead, and we wanna keep this flat. You don't wanna pop anything up on this piece or it's gonna catch on your slide there. All right. So there we go. Okay. We have our piece and we slide out and there's our special. And the last thing we need to do is add some flowers. So like I said, I used the wild rose to make these. And to do that, I stamped the two smallest ones. I think on my original, I might have used a medium one, but for mine today, I made the two small ones. And I stamped those in the plum. I inked them with the vibrant fuchsia. And then I used the ribbit prills to go in the center. And that was pretty much all I did. I did run those through my shaping mold face down. So I'm going to get my glue gun hot. Now for the leaves, I just pulled out some of the leaves from my leafy accents. If you wanted to, you could use the leaves from the wild rose. On my original, I believe I used leaves from the pansy set because I was working on pansies for another project and I had pansy leaves, so that's what I used. But you can just pick out some leaves that are the right size and shape and use those. And just as soon as this is hot, we'll put the finishing touches on with our beautiful flowers. So I'm going to start here with some leaves in the corner. And I just decorated them right down here in the corner so that it didn't cover up too much of my frame. You want to make sure when you add your flowers that you're not covering up your message. And I still wanted to be able to see the design on the inside, so I just put them right down there in the very corner of my card. Kind of real close together. And certainly you could add some glitter. I did not add glitter to mine because if I was going to glitter them, I would do it before I added them to my card, because if you do glitter after, it really sticks to the acetate. Like, it'll be really hard to get that off of the acetate. I did go around my sentiment here with my dauber, and then I just added a little bit of glue on there and tucked that right under my flowers down at the bottom. Again, being careful that I don't cover up my hidden message on the inside. All right, so there is our hidden or secret message, our surprise message. There we go. So happy birthday. We got a little arrow here, slides up. And I hope your day is as special as you are. And I didn't put a stopper up here on purpose. You could put a little stopper here if you wanted to, but I wanted this to be able to come out so somebody could set this on their mantle and see this beautiful message that you've sent to them for their birthday. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back. Well, if I can find my cursor, I'm going to switch my camera back. There we go. All right. Well, I am so glad that you were here with me to make this magic slider. I hope you enjoyed that. Do head over to the website and get the Floral Sentiments just as quickly as you can with the announcement that they're closing at the end of the year. They have just been extremely busy. And if you saw Emma Lou's message, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, some of the products are going to show as sold out. But make sure you sign up for the newsletter and the emails. That way you will be notified if and when they do have more available. And I know that they're working on that right now. So hopefully that'll all get sorted out and everybody who wants it, or most people who want this, will be able to get their hands on it. But keep watching there on the website and take advantage of the ones that are still there, and give it a try making a magic slider or a surprise window in your card. And don't forget, if you spend $50 on the website, you will get a free mold, and that's good the whole month of May. All right, I can't think of anything else, but thank you so much for watching today, and have fun with the Floral Sentiments, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Bye-bye.